Rebecca, do you have us? Hello, sports fans, and welcome to this final game of the first day of the WOU D2 Shootout presented by Phoenix Inn. I'm here today. I'm your host, Danny Barnes. I'm joined today by Michael Filey. How are you doing today, Michael?
Good. Ready to see some basketball.
Fantastic. Well, looks like we got a pretty good matchup out here. It's the first time Western Oregon sports fans are going to have the opportunity to see the Wolves at home this season. Talk to me a little bit about the team that we're going to get to see.
Definitely. Under new coach Brady Bergeson, he's a very defensive-minded coach, loves to put pressure on the ball, and that's the lifeline, as he says. And if you're able to put pressure on the ball, you're able to control a lot of things, both offensively and defensively.
Fantastic. In the Wolves, we got to see that a lot last weekend in their opening series over at Hawaii. Holding the other team, even though they went 1-1 in the tournament, they still held opponents below 80 points in each game.
Definitely. And I think the thing that we get to look forward to is kind of a new sense of rebounding, emphasis put on rebounding. You know, that seemed to be the Achilles heel last year for the Wolves, but I think with this new coaching staff, they've emphasized the toughness, going inside, dominating the paint, no matter what the size advantage is.
Talk to me a little bit about this team we're going to see come up from the California Collegiate Athletic Association, Cal State East Bay.
Yeah, the Pioneers, they are a very guard-oriented team. I talked to Coach Gibson today, and he said that it's very important for the Wolves to get back in transition because the Pioneers love to push the ball up the court, and they have 4 guards, even after 2 games, shooting over 50% from the three-point line. So it's going to be very important to get a hand up for Freelander, Whedon, and Long to keep those guards from shooting the 3.
And right now, we're going through the starting lineups right there. Western Oregon will be starting Blair Whedon, Kyle Long, Jordan Freelander, James Gearing, and Jamal Veal. So the Wolves actually out there are pretty small as well right now.
And I think it's a good call. It's a good matchup right now. You got to wait and see. Bring Colton Nelson off the bench, see what he can do, but you got to establish tempo a little bit first in this first couple minutes, and then you bring in your big guys.
Fantastic. Well, looking forward to this first opportunity, and glad to have everybody out there joining us on the web stream. Always want to make a shout out to the digital production crew of Deborah Zell, Rebecca Murphy, and the rest of their crew that does a great job on the camera work up there and brings you guys, fans, the best available coverage that is out there.
So. Definitely do a great job.
Just want to make a quick note. Me and Michael are guest announcers today, and Mark Gilman will be joining us tomorrow. With the tip right there, the Wolves control the ball as James Gearing gets it over to Blair Whedon. It'll be a lot of perimeter play probably on this game, especially as the Wolves look towards their seniors, their trio of seniors out there. Kyle Long, Blair Whedon, and Jordan Freelander. Even, truthfully, Jamal Veal is a senior as well.
Exactly,
Ooh, shot right there. Kyle Long came off a little short. There was left a little there. And Cal State East Bay gets their first possession of the game.
This is what Coach Gibson talked about, getting back. Great presence inside by Blair Whedon on establishing himself to get the charge call.
As you mentioned right there, very important to get back. And we got to see that right away with Blair. Gives up the body a little bit, gets the Wolves possession, and
you know, even though they missed that first shot, it was still important that Kyle Long got in there. It's so many. You open up the gates if you're able to penetrate inside. Because the Wolves are no stranger to the three-point either, Danny.
No, they do seem to like to take that shot. As you see Jamal driving right there, kicking back out to Blair Whedon. Kyle Long going inside now. Nice pass up to James Gearing, who stays with it.
Again, still great penetration. Brady Bergeson's got to be happy about that so far, but you do got to finish that shot.
Remains 0-0 after the first minute of play.
Here's going to be the key right here, Danny, is this ball pressure by the Wolves. They got to stay up in the face of these guys, as we talked about the pregame, and that can really take the lifeline away from the Pioneers.
Ooh. That was a close call right there. First one the Wolves got, that one goes against him right there. Not Jamal. Jordan also gives up his body. That one just unfortunately goes against him as they send Cal State East Bay to the line right there. It'll be There'll be number Roshun Wynne up there shooting 2 at the free throw line.
And he's a key one to stop for the Wolves right now. He's one of their leading scorers, still even after 2 games, but he kind of controls the tempo a little bit, and he's a key one to stop. And, those charge calls are always tough to call. They put the circle in this year, but still, it's such a judgment call by these referees.
Well, first one's up, and he makes it, giving Cal State East Bay the early lead. Second one is good as well. Take a 2-0 lead early on in the game. The Wolves do look to be trying to get out there and run, though, right now.
They do, and they're getting slowed down just a little bit by the Pioneers. They're picking up about 3/4 court, and I'm sure at this first TV timeout, Bergeson will adjust to that just a little bit. Still got to get some movement down there by...
Turnover right there by Jordan Freelander, giving him a little bit of a run out. Oh, very nifty layup right there.
And that's what, this is what Coach Gibson talked about this morning. You got to get back. You cannot let them dictate the tempo.
Ooh, tough call there. Blair went in very strong right there. Ball just got tipped out of his hand, and unfortunately just happens to hit off his foot. A couple turnovers early for the Wolves, not good. That's one thing they definitely need to stay away with. Last week in their loss at Chaminade, turnovers really hurt them.
Yep. And I still think it's some jitters. Their first home game for Brady Bergeson, this new staff. There's a lot of excitement surrounding it.
That's a 3 put up right there by Jason Smith. Knocks it down. Gives Cal State East Bay the Pioneers 7-0 lead early on. Blair Wynne coming back up the floor. Goes right around the screen by James Gearing.
Yep.
Takes up a little extra body bump right there, and that'll be the foul on Cal State East Bay. Number 11, Mark Samuels. It's always interesting to see when you have the new coaches come around too, just to see sort of different emphasis they put on. You talked about the defense right there, but different coaches doing the inbounds pressure.
Yep.
And the one thing I want to say about the Wolves too is we see Blair Wynne with the ball on the outside. Just some of the discipline Brady Bergeson has tried to put in with his team, such as the early morning workouts. The team is in many mornings at 6 a.m. Jump ball, as we see right there. James Gearing gets tied up.
Yeah, you get the ball that low. You got to keep it up above your shoulders. Get those elbows out. They teach you that in grade school.
Well, we got to make sure, as you said, that's 3 turnovers already for the Wolves in 2.5 minutes. Not what you want to see.
No, it's not.
You would think a little bit with the guards out there. I know that ball control has to be a very important thing, as the Wolves almost basically have 2 point guards on the floor for sure with Jordan Freelander and Blair Whedon, but Kyle Long has also run the point many times.
Yep. Now that's great defense right there. Jordan Freelander rotated over, did a great job of getting that ball.
Got to get some open shots now as the Wolves look to swing the ball out around the perimeter. Kyle Long going inside, kicking it back to Jamal Veal. Veal got a nice little turnaround in the lane.
Good move, and that's what's going to open it up. If you can continue driving inside, it's going to open up better, easy shots for you. And I think we're going to see more of that from the Wolves tonight.
That basket right there makes it 7-2 in favor of the Pioneers. Kick outside.
Got to get out.
Marshall just rims off right there. Good strong rebound by Jamal Veal.
Very good.
Wolves do seem to get up and down the court really quickly. I mean, even on the rebounds, they seem to have those guards kind of flaring out. Nice to see it. Hopefully they just keep the rebounds.
There you go. And there's that penetration. That's the good inside position by the big guy there. Just got to still continue. He's bringing the ball down. Keep it up just a little bit. He'll get that shot off.
And James Gearing will be going back to the line. The foul is right there on Jarrell Turner, his second of the game, picking up 2 pretty early. Always important with that foul calls in there.
Yep.
And there'll be a plethora of subs coming in this one. We'll update you. First one falls off from James Gearing. We see Colton Nelson over here, sub for the Wolves, saying that it'll be going in for Gearing, the next dead ball. Also had a couple subs coming in for the Cal State Pioneers. Trey Malden, number 3, Jakari Whitfield, and I admit I missed that third one right there.
You talked about Colton Nelson, Danny. Colton Nelson lost 43 pounds in 2.5 months under this new coaching staff. That's going to be key for the Wolves this year. It's going to allow him to be lighter on his feet, cover more ground, and be that dominant inside presence that he has the look of. Now he just has to play basketball just like that.
And he did have a very good game last week over a couple games over there. Right there, Blair Whedon pulls up, brings the score to 7-4. Wolves have scored 2 straight baskets, and back on the pressure as they pick up 3/4 court press.
Got to get back. You'd like to see Like to see him rotate over just a little bit quicker, stop the ball before it gets too far into the paint.
That'll be a foul right there on the Wolves, James Gearing. And we're going to see Colton Nelson coming in right after this media timeout. Michael, here you have a couple readers for us.
Fans, PT Northwest is a recognized leader in physical rehabilitation since 1977, and their staff wants to help restore your active lifestyle. PT Northwest has a number of locations located in the Willamette Valley, including here in Monmouth on Main Street. PT Northwest is a proud supporter of Western Oregon University. Fans looking for a great way to spend an afternoon, come to Red Hawk Winery. Our tasting room is open every day, year-round, from 11 to 5. Enjoy wine tasting, take in their breathtaking view of the valley, or picnic in the park. Red Hawk Winery, a proud supporter of Western Oregon University. You can learn more at redhawkwine.com. That's redhawkwine.com.
And as we start to come back from this media timeout, you mentioned head coach Brady Bergeson being his first year. He's also brought in a couple other members of the staff, as we see right now. Jared Gibson is back to assist him. He comes over from the previous regime. This is 7th year on the job. He also has a couple of first-year head coaches. Joe Schomburg and Matt Fisher also joining the staff. Joe, I know, is working a lot with the posts on the team. And then Matt Fisher is kind of working with the guards and doing a lot of everything else as he is helping out in many aspects with the team.
You know, we touched on it at the beginning of the game that the one Achilles heel last year that seemed to be for the Wolves was the rebounding. And Joe, from just a number of the different stories we've heard, has been a beast in practice, as the guys have said, bumping them around, getting physical with them, not being afraid of doing that. And it's nice to have that big body to bump around in practice.
The first free throw is up by Trey Malden, and it is good. Seen some pretty good free throw shooting, at least early in the game, from the Pioneers. The Wolves happen to miss their first two from James Gearing. But we all know, as we saw in the women's game, as the women lost by 7 earlier, how important those free throws are.
You got to make them. Especially in these close games, these early season games, are very, very important.
Jordan's bringing the ball up right there. Strong pressure by Trey Malden.
And the Pioneers are going to do what the Wolves are going to try to do is take those point guards away. Take whoever's bringing the ball up.
Three-pointer from Jamal Veal. And long rebound there by Jordan Freelander as everybody has kind of collapsed into the basket right there. Wolves reset. Freelander gets the ball on the left side. Starts working it around. Good to see the Wolves do a lot of baseline screening.
Yep.
Hoping to see a couple of extra cuts in there. They seem to be pushed away from the basket right now by this Pioneer defense.
You got to, Danny, you got to establish position in there now. If you're Colton Nelson, you got to establish position. We talked about it earlier. It's important to establish that position, and right there, Colton got out-rebounded right there.
I agree completely. Colton's probably got about 4 or 5 inches on the guy and 40 pounds, if not something more.
And it's all about getting your butt down, establishing position. It doesn't matter how big you are. It's just getting that butt down and boxing out.
Well, I just want to say really quickly, I know we have some more readers coming up in the future, but the GNAC has released a couple all-conference and all-academic teams recently. We want to make sure we give a quick little shout-out to some of the football players that picked up all-academic honors this year. Brian Walton, Tanner Grover, Trevor Roush, Kelly Morgan, Paul Gutzman, Trevor Gates, Benjamin Merrill, Corey Bean, Michael Akins, and Evan Mizaki helped Western Oregon capture 10 of the 29 all GNAC honors and lead the conference. Always an impressive thing when guys are doing in the classroom as well as on the field.
Exactly. And a game within the conference championship, too. 2nd year in a row.
Exactly. See the ball coming up right now? Jakari Whitfield brings it up. Get a three-pointer on the outside there by number 24.
And there you see it. Again, we're talking about the rebounding. An over-the-back call on the Pioneers, and that's exactly, if you have good rebounding position, you're going to get those calls.
And you mentioned it a little bit before, really want to see those Wolves take advantage of their size on the inside.
Exactly.
There's only one guy on the Pioneer roster listed above 6'6", and that's 6'10", Rodrigo Maza, and we have not got to see him on the floor at all so far.
And Colton Nelson there thought about a three. I talked to him earlier this week, and I asked him where he was going to be playing a lot. And there's the three. Kyle Long, that's huge to get him going.
That was a very nice find there by Jordan Freelander, who kept his eyes up. Down across the court to Kyle Long. You probably won't see very many more open shots than that all year long.
Nope. But as I was saying, I was talking to Colton, and I asked him, last year he showed the ability to hit the three, and I asked him where they were going to be. where this new coaching staff was going to have him, and he kind of just laughed. He sat there and he said, right down, starting off in the block, and that's, I think that's where they would like him at, and so you saw that hesitancy when he tried to take that shot.
You got to see a lot right there. As the Wolves' defensive pressure was able to create an unforced turnover by the Pioneers. Threw it out of bounds, had him pushed all the way to the sideline. Always a good thing. A lot of contact on the top right there. And Blair Whedon does draw the call against Shakari Whitfield. Important play right there as they're starting to rack up the fouls early on. That's 4 in only 6 minutes of play. You always want to see get into that bonus early on, and the Wolves, with all these guards out there, should have some pretty good free throw shooters, and they've shown it over the years. Get a couple of those cheap ones, as they say, on the line.
Yep.
Jordan Freelander with the ball. Seeing him do a lot more of the point guard type of work than Blair Whedon in the past, who Blair Whedon has done a lot of the past, but you're seeing Jordan Freelander as they're starting to play Whedon off the ball a lot more, trying to take advantage of his scoring ability. And there's another baseline bump. Actually, sorry, that is, they call Whedon for stepping on the baseline, and the ball will go back. That's a turnover on the Wolves. Ball will go back to the Pioneers.
You know, you touched upon Freelander taking a lot of the point guard duties. You know, one of the things that Blair Whedon offers is he's a prolific scorer once he gets going. And sometimes it's easier to get the shot and get the opportunities to score when you're not having to handle the ball and setting up the play coming up and down the court.
Seems like he's still adjusting that role a little bit versus his scoring last year compared to the Hawaii tournament.
Yep.
That's a nice cut right inside there by
big strong rebound by Chris Bama White there.
Freelander coming back up with the ball again. We've got to see Brian McGill head to the scorer's table. He'll have his first chance to see some home.
Pretty shot with the left-hander.
And he does have a variety of moves out there, Blair Whedon. He seems to put the ball in the basket in a number of different ways.
Important here for the Wolves to get a stop or two. It kind of gets momentum going, and these early spurts can take a team out of their game a little bit.
Three-pointer put up right there by number 15. Good job for Colton right there to be able to collect that second rebound after the offensive rebound came.
Three-point, there we go. It's starting to heat up a little bit right now.
Wolves take the lead, their first lead of the game, 12-9.
And it's so important, we talked about it again at the top, is the rebounding, the inside game. If you get those opportunities and those rebounds and kick the ball ahead, you're going to get those shots that they just had by Kyle Long. There's another one.
Another turnover by the Pioneers. Right now the Wolves are on a 12-2 run.
Good ball movement.
Kyle Long knocks it down, extends that run to 15-2.
Good ball movement. And already you just see a different swagger about this team, Danny, and it's good to see here. But again, it's those rebounds that start the thing running. And again, that hard work paying off of the coaching staff right now.
Very good as the Wolves. It is 12-18 on the clock right now. The Wolves hold a 15-9 lead. And we have a couple more ad readers to give you right now.
Yeah, Danny, we can, as workers here, we can thank Monmouth Subway for providing our dinner for us tonight. Monmouth Subway is a proud sponsor of Western Oregon University Athletics. Before the next game, stop up and pick up one of their everyday value subs for just $5 on your way to the game.
We just want to give you a couple scores from the men's game that went on right before this. Augustana, who the Wolves will be facing tomorrow night, is actually ranked number 16 in the country. They did defeat fellow GNAC opponent, St. Martin's, 70-54. We'll have a couple more numbers on that one, but Augustana's got some good big guys, so hopefully the fans tune in tomorrow at 5:30 and catch the web stream of this game tomorrow as well.
It's going to be an interesting battle between those two teams, Western Oregon and Augustana.
Pioneers with the ball again. Roshun Wynne. The Wolves have kept him in check so far, but they seem to be swinging the ball around the perimeter pretty well. Losing track of the guy right there. Fight for it on the rebound. Number 35. Marshall.
You know, and you're starting to see the lack of inside presence affecting the Pioneers. Just, you know, there's only so many times you can dribble the ball outside before you have to start initiating a shot.
Coming back with that ball batted out of bounds right there. We go to the media timeout, our second of the game.
Wolves fans, Western Oregon is excited to announce the 26th athletic auction, and it will be held Saturday, April 28th, 2012 at the Salem Conference Center. All money raised at this event will go directly to athletic scholarships. Join us as we celebrate athletic and academic success and help provide our student athletes with the championship experience. For more information, be sure to visit woowolves.com.
We got to see also a lot, as we talked about the changing of the staff right now. Got to see Coach Brady Bergeson bring in quite a few new guys. See a couple of them make an early impact on the game as James Gearing is in there battling for position. I know that Brian McGill being part of his first recruiting class. A lot of that first recruiting class is redshirting this year, but Andy Obge is also on board. Nate Carter. Cody Peters will also be redshirting this season, but nice to see some of the new faces in there. And as you see, Brian McGill gives them even another ball handler out there. And
exactly. Yeah, Brady's done a great job this year of bringing in the new players to complement his strong supporting cast that he had left over from the previous regime. So, and I think you're starting to see it pay off right now. You're starting to see some little bit extra benefits that they didn't have last year.
Pretty interesting out there as both teams have the same team shoes on right now. Everybody except Colton Nelson, the size 20 feet. You can't always get everybody in the size of those ones.
A little bit harder to find size 20. A little bit harder.
And that's another foul right there. Bill Whedon gets some body contact against him, and Jakari Whitfield makes another foul, his second of the half. Inbounding from the side, we'll see Kyle Long. Coming into the game right now, Jason Smith. He knocked down the three-pointer earlier in the game. Comes in and takes the place of Jakari Whitfield.
You know, and for the first home game, Danny, you're looking around here, there's a lot of, again, we talked about that excitement. There's a lot of fans here tonight, including a nice little student section behind us.
McGill goes up right there, gets his shot altered against the glass by Rodriguez Meza. Come back down the court pretty quickly. And nice little move there we see from Mark Samuels.
Yep. And he's one of their three that you have to stop. You have to stop him. You can't let him go.
You mentioned it a little bit in the pregame, but it's battle of the guards out there. We're getting to see that a lot as those guards are taken to the hoop, though. They're not just settling for the outside jump shots. They seem to really be pressuring and taking it in, using their speed against each other.
Exactly.
Which is pretty interesting.
Yep. Oh, good pass inside. Good pass inside. Good cut by Chris Bama White there.
And as you said, Chris White gets the foul. The foul goes against number 34, Jason Smith. Sorry about that. Correct me. It's Rodriguez Maza picks up the foul. And we'll have a couple subs coming in for the Wolves after this first free throw by Chris White, which hits back iron and comes off.
You know, you brought up the point, Danny. You got to make these free throws. It's important to start getting those extra points.
Jordan Freelander checks in the game right now for Kyle Long. James Gearing will be taking his time as he'll be coming in for Chris White when the opportunity presents itself. As Chris is shooting right now, so the next dead ball.
And Chris giving Brady some nice minutes in there. Nice change of pace.
Another missed free throw. That's 4 missed free throws early in the game for the Wolves. Those ones are important as they can definitely have a little bit more sizable lead than their current 15-11 lead.
Yep.
Good to see the Pioneers come right back down the floor.
Great defense. Great defense.
Quick hands.
Yep.
Very quick hands right there by Brian McGill. However, the ball stays with the Pioneers. They look forward, swing outside to Mark Samuels, who knocks it down.
That's tough. You play that good defense, but sometimes communication breaks down just a little bit on those loose ball situations there.
You hate to give up those scramble points.
Yep.
Here we go. Jordan Freelander resetting the offense at the top of the key. We have Brady Bergeson over here calling for some cutters. See some movement on offense.
And he's not getting any cutters, which probably addressed at halftime there.
Good head fake there by Jordan Freelander. However, the ball comes off a little bit long and is rebounded by the Pioneers, who quickly push the ball up the floor. Jason Smith gets another look at it. Ball goes long and then commits the foul as he runs in against Chris White.
This coach can't be happy about that.
No, that was a frustration foul in a weird way, and early frustration foul, which isn't smart. That's actually already Pioneers' 7th foul of the half, and he'll send the Wolves to the line. Chris White to the line, shooting 1-1. Chris, we saw him go a little bit long earlier. Last year he did struggle a little bit from the line, but I know he's been working very hard at this one. Knocked down, I believe it was all 4 free throws when they played Hawaii Hilo. And we'll get to see him go back. Try to give the Wolves extend their lead from 15-14. Ball rattles around and goes down. Wolves take a 16-14 lead. Come back to the other one. Not too many other changes out there for the Wolves right now. We did get to see James Gearing go in and take the place of Colton Nelson. So the Wolves are back with 2 guys off the bench and 3 of their starters on that. That one looks pretty good.
Yeah,
Like Chris had a nice little stroke there.
Exactly. You know, and he showed some signs of being very good last year, and I think with this again, the new regime, I think it's kind of energized a lot of these guys here, and they're taking some pride here in Western Oregon.
Jumper by 34, nice little fadeaway.
Hand in the face, that's a tough shot to guard. You can't do too much other than what Blair did there.
Sometimes they just make it. What can you say?
Yep. Got to be careful with the passes, getting kind of careless, telegraphing the passes.
They're letting a lot of hands go in.
Exactly.
As those guards are getting really aggressive on both sides of the ball. The Wolves have had some nice steals too as their guards have got in, pressured the ball, and made sure that you better be protecting that ball both on the dribble
good luck.
and with James Gearing.
Good luck. Good luck.
That was a very good pass by Colton Nelson, a good finish by James Gearing. Fortunately, those times, sometimes they don't go for an assist if you don't make the quick one.
Exactly.
But, hey, points on the board for the Wolves. Do as they take, as they still lead, 19-16.
Those two have the potential to do a lot of good things this year, and there he is with another rebound.
And really good defense right there.
Pushing the ball up the court.
Easy. Swing it.
Come back around. Blair Whedon, open shot top the key.
You cannot leave him open. If you give him an open shot, he's going to knock it down.
He's two-time second-team All-GNAT performer, and I'm sure he would like to take home a first-team honor this season.
His senior year, his last year.
You get to see that about a couple guys. Him and Kyle Long have been playing together for years, roommates, good friends, as we get to see Mark Samuels knock it down, but you know they have to have a lot of goals, between Long and Whedon have to have a lot of goals in mind to achieve some good things this season. For all the work they put in, not just during the off-season, but during their entire course of their career. And 2 relatively local boys as Blair Whedon comes over from Junction City and Long from McMinnville. Great pass across the court right there.
They're heating up now, and the Pioneers can't let them get this. Too many open shots right off.
Brian McGill knocks it down off the pass over there from Jordan Freelander. But Wolves are sharing the ball very well right now.
Very.
Playing good defense too, as they even got a hand up in the face right there. Ooh, tough call right there.
He was a little late coming over, but still, that's still a tough shot to hit. Well, that's a tough call, you know. Though again, those are one of those judgment calls, you know. Momentum takes you into it, but you got to call it.
Roshun Wynne knocks down the 3, and we'll also go into the line after this break, shoot a free throw to possibly make it a 4-point play.
And as we mentioned at the top, this tournament is brought to you by Phoenix Inn Suites, North Salem, where they offer spacious all-suite accommodations with a northwest feel. Phoenix Inn guests always enjoy a full extended breakfast after getting a relaxing night's rest on a pillow-top mattress. The next time you're there, make sure to stop by the front desk and say hello to the friendly staff and enjoy a freshly baked cookie.
Always love those freshly baked cookies. I admit, I can't ever just take one.
Nope, they're always good. They always seem to be nice and warm there.
Well, we're about 60% of the way through this first half. Have a couple of scores for you right now. Kyle Long leads all scores right now with 9 points as he's knocked down all 3 of his 3-point attempts. Right now, Mark Samuels is the leader for the Pioneers with 7 points. He's knocked down all 3 of his shots from the field. We also have Blair Whedon's also come through with 7 points, 2 jumpers, and a 3-pointer.
Yep, and shooting, the Wolves shooting 83% from the field, or excuse me, from the 3-point line, and that's a number that the new coaching staff here is going to like to see. But you don't want to always rely on it, but I think right now we're seeing a great mix of both inside and 3-point outside shooting.
It's going to be important all year. They didn't hit too many threes last week in Hawaii, and it hurt them just in the flow of the offense with so many guards. You're definitely going to need that just to spread the floor a little bit.
The old saying, you live and die by the 3, and that's a coach's nightmare.
So the last foul right there was on number 33, Rodriguez Maza, sending Colton Nelson to the line, shooting 1-1, and that one rims off a little bit strong. Rebound there by Roshun Wynne.
Oh, that's a tough call. That's a tough call, but you see Kyle Long being really quick on his feet, keeping the guy in front of him.
Been a lot of hands. Been a lot of hands out there, and that's
by both
pretty
teams.
soft one.
Both teams. Refs are letting them play. You like to see that just a little bit.
We're getting a little heckling from the fans right behind us, but I want to say that's very nice to see too. The students out here dressed up, ready to support the Wolves. Man, another knockdown out there by Mark Samuels.
Yep.
Both teams are on fire right now. Right now that is 4 for 8 3-pointers by the Pioneers as they're knocking them down as well and keeping up right up with the Wolves. It's 25-24, Western Oregon leads. Had this lead since their earlier 15-2 run after the Pioneers came out with 7 straight points.
Yeah, they are, boy. They are really, they're calling those hand checks. Not a lot of body, but it's just those hand checks.
That foul goes against number 22, Felix Maponda. And it'll send Kyle Long to the line, shooting 1-1. Hits the first one, puts him as the first double-digit scorer on the night. Actually, correct me, Mark Samuels hit that 3-pointer, so put him with 10 points, but Kyle Long right there matches him. Have a sub coming in, as we got to see Blair Whedon come in and take Brian McGill's spot. Long coming up the free throw line for second shot. Knocks it down. That's one of the guys you want at the line right there.
Yep. And here we get a look at the student section, a brief, quick look, costumes and everything on a Friday night.
Nice to see the Wolves as they really are pushing the tempo by pressuring up on him. And Jason Smith hits another 3-pointer.
He didn't play in their first game, and he came back in their second game and ended up with 22 points. And he was 6 for 11 from the 3-point range, so he can definitely knock him down.
Kind of makes him a specialist out there as a little bit as well.
Oh, great move, great pass, great move.
So with the game tied up at 27 apiece, the foul goes against the Pioneers. Number 22, Felix Maponda, and he'll send James Gearing to the line. Gearing right now is 0 for 2 at the line, going there to start the game off for the Wolves early on. Come back, step it up for 2 shots. Goes right, and the ball goes off the rim. Right now, with that miss, the Wolves are just 2 of 8 from the free throw line, and that's one of the reasons the game is tied, as the Pioneers have knocked down all 4 of their free throws.
Leaving points on the court.
And there's another one left there as well. Wynne is a pretty good player out there for him. Gets a rebound out there as well, pushes the ball to the floor. He is back, sets up the offense for them, looking around as he calls for the pick and gets it. Great play and a very, very strong finish right there by Felix Maponda.
There you see the guards. The penetration opens up a lot of things for those guards and the other big guys.
That gives Pioneers the lead at 29-27, and that play was really set up by Wynne, who dribbled around, kept his eyes up, able to draw the defense and kicked it right across.
Right now, Coach Ferguson's asking for some movement. A lot of standing around by the Wolves right now. Great look inside. Great finish.
James Gearing gets the basket right there off the assist from Jamal Veal, who very wisely looked in as the defense came out on him and left Gearing open for that half of a second, and Gearing was able to finish strong around the hoop.
And that's a luxury you have when you have 2 great big guys that can have great vision, have the ability to score. It opens up a lot of things for you.
Swing around up top for Jason Smith, who does what he does and shoots another 3. The offensive rebound comes off to Quentin Lacey, who is fouled by James Gearing. That is the Wolves' 5th of the half and the 2nd for James Gearing. Coach Ferguson quickly makes a move out there, sends in Chris White for Gearing and sends in Colton Nelson for Jordan Freelander.
You got to give your big guys a rest every now and then. When you're playing a game against a lot of these quick guards, your big guys run down a lot. You got to give them a rest and make them more efficient when they're in there. Give them a quick breather.
Good head fake right there by Jason Smith. Got Whedon off his feet, but was unable to knock down the shot as the Wolves come back down the court. Kyle Long is trying to set up the offense right there, trying to get some more movement out there as the Wolves are really just standing around.
Yeah, that's the one thing, and I'm sure it's part of the offense. There's some certain sets there, as Coach talked about earlier this year. He's going to have some wrinkles and some different sets, but you want to see some movement going on around there. The more you move, the more it's going to open up.
Right there, the ball goes gets batted out of Whedon's hands. The Wolves keep possession of it though. 6 seconds on the shot clock as the Wolves probably have to be calling one of their inbounds plays where you're always looking to get a quick shot. There won't be much time to create as hopefully they can set some screens out there. And
this is where you call one of your quick hitters right here, a quick shot. It doesn't look like they're going to get it.
Whedon's looking for some help right there. Gets the ball to Chris White in the corner. 3 seconds on the clock, 2 seconds, 1. Whedon gets bailed out right there with the foul called on Mark Samuels. Maybe not Whedon getting bailed out so much, but just the Wolves in general. 1 second on the clock and you're six feet behind the free throw line. Not the spot where you should be making a foul.
No. You battle for 34 seconds, and at the last possible minute, you give up a foul. Coaches don't like that.
That will send Whedon to the line, another good free throw shooter for 3 shots right there.
That's who you want at the free throw line. There you go. Nothing but net.
And even though we say that the officials are not calling the game really tight, you're still going to see a lot of fouls, and those ones are kind of piling up against some of those guys out there right now. That is Samuels only his first, but some of the other guys have already picked up 2. Whedon rattles that one in, making the first 2 shots. Come back for the final shot, and the opportunity to give the Wolves, extend the Wolves' lead to 3. Knocks it down.
There it is.
Very calmly. Yep. Wolves draw back. They decide not to go to the press this time. They've been doing that a lot, but maybe with having both Chris White and Colton Nelson in the game is decided against by Brady Bergson. Very nifty move right there by Samuels, who was able to weave his way to the basket and really didn't look like he had very good angle on that one at all, but was able to find just enough backboard to kiss it off of.
Still a little late by the Wolves, rotating over, cutting off the balance, but again, it's something to work on, continuing to move.
Move it!
Whedon's at the top of the ball, gets the pick, goes away from it, kicks the ball over to Long, who goes a little bit off as we see right there. Rebound to the Pioneers, who actually have a chance to take the lead again.
That sideline shot is one of the toughest that you can take.
And Jason Smith back out there doing what he does, just looking for some spots on the 3. He's done a very good job creating shots. Just 3-point shots. That head fake, Wolves are jumping all over it, and he's found some room on that one.
And they're not open shots. See, they got hands in his face, and he's hitting them. There you go.
The answer comes back from Jamal Veal as Blair Whedon finds him over on the side, knocks it down, giving the Wolves the quick answer and the lead back at 35-34. Right there, Colton Nelson's going to be called for the foul as him and Quinton Lacey are fighting for it.
Got tangled up there a little bit. Sometimes those are the tough ones. You get tangled up there trying to establish position.
That's the Wolves' 6th foul of the half, and right now we'll be going to another media timeout, the last of the half.
Fans, Western Oregon Athletics has the privilege to have Yang's Teriyaki as one of their proud supporters. Yang's Teriyaki has served WOU for over a decade. You can find Yang's just up Monmouth Avenue on the south side of campus. Yang's Teriyaki, proud supporter of Western Oregon Athletics.
I mentioned some of those awards a little earlier on. The volleyball All-GNAC team was released this week as well. And Danielle Reese, junior Danielle Reese, was the unanimous first-team all-conference selection. She led the Wolves much of the season, and picking up second-team honors was Christy Kemper, and third-team honors was Becky Blees. One quick thing I just want to say about those, always interesting when 2 of them come from Oregon, as Kemper comes from Prineville, and Becky Blees out of the Portland area. Danny Reese, not knocking her at all, just happens to come from Gig Harbor, but always like the Western Oregon ones that recruit at home. And Brad Sandin only loses 1 volleyball player off his team.
Going to be very good next year, very good.
Good to see some of the recruits that they're signing as well. Those will be released on Monday, but just very interesting to see some of those guys that are out there. And as he continues to build the Wolves, try and take them to the next level, get him back to the regionals, which he did his very first season here with Western Oregon.
Yep.
Wolves will come back on the court. We'll have Blair Whedon, Kyle Long, Jordan Freelander, Chris White, and Colton Nelson.
This is a key 3-minute stretch right here. You always like to have some momentum going into the locker room, playing well.
I know Coach K, Coach Mike Krzyzewski, who was able to the most winningest coach ever at D1 level, always talks about that final 4 minutes, the first half, and the first 4 minutes of the second.
There it is.
Right there, Kyle Long intercepts the passes, goes across from Nick Marshall.
Good decision.
They find him in the corner. He decides to hold up. Gets the ball back to Blair Whedon, who finds Jordan Freelander. They swing it around the perimeter.
They're trying to get Bama White set up in there. Seeing, and he's got that physical presence inside. He may only be 6'4", and there's that three. Oh,
just rims off a little bit right there, but that was a pretty good look by Colton Nelson, who actually is the guy on the perimeters. They're having Chris White being the one on the inside.
Got to get back.
Wynne takes the shot.
Oh, what a rebound. What a rebound. He's only 6'4", but Chris is doing a great job of establishing himself in there and getting inside into the paint and giving the Wolves a nice little advantage on the rebound side.
Even though you say he's only 6'4", he's very athletic out there.
Very athletic.
One of the more athletic ones out there. And
guys call him Bama, as he's from Alabama, so Chris Bama White. In fact, picks up that one right there.
Not a smart foul right there. As the Wolves still lead 35-34 with 2:10 left on the clock.
And when you're posting up down there, you're going to get shoved. You're going to get knocked around a little bit. The refs are going to let you go. You just got to be able to keep your cool, keep establishing and fighting for position.
Just want to make a quick mention that the Wolves will have a game here again tomorrow. Knocked down right there by Roshun Wynne, who's a very tough competitor, and goes into his bench right there. Knocks over a couple assistant coaches, but I don't think they were even trying to save him. I think he was trying to save the assistant coaches at that time.
Exactly.
But it looks like everybody's all right. Always the important thing out there. Good hustle. Right after he gets the basket, a very tough basket, comes back down and shows the defensive prowess out there as well.
Wolves bringing him back, Jamal Veal, giving them one more inside score. And although he can play out on the wing, can do a little bit of everything out there.
Takes the jumper from the free throw line, comes up a little bit short.
Good hustle.
But very good hustle by Kyle Long.
Got to see that there's 9 seconds on the clock. Oh, good extra pass.
Long gathers himself. Picks up the travel on that one. Turnover from the Wolves with 1:21 left in the half, and the Pioneers leading 36-35.
Even though it didn't go in, the Wolves are showing good ball movement right now, making that extra pass, and that you learn as a young kid, make that extra pass, get you a little bit extra better shot attempt. Oh, good help defense. Good help defense by Kyle Long, and he gets rewarded for it as the Wolves get the ball back.
That was a very good play. As Samuels once again was able to find a crease in the Wolves defense as the Pioneers have been finding some areas going to the hoop all game. Not that the Wolves defense is bad or anything, but just they're quick guards and quick guys to stay with the dribble. Wolves are staying in front of them pretty well, but those guys are getting some good lanes, and Blair Whedon answers right back. Ball just goes a little bit long. He was also able to find a little seam opening right there. And what a pass, what a look-away pass right there by Roshun Wynne. Finds his backcourt mate, Mark Samuels, with another basket.
That's what we talked about, getting back in transition, cutting the ball off.
That's number 14 there for Samuels. Jason Smith has 11, the second leading scorer for the Pioneers. Kyle Long still leads the Wolves with 11 points, and Blair Whedon has 10. Right there, Brady Bergeson calls the timeout with 25.9 seconds on the clock and 17 on the shot clock to set up a play. Try to, as you mentioned, try to close that half out well.
Yeah, they won't get the last shot, but it's always still important. In the 25 seconds, you're going to probably give the Pioneers maybe 13, 14 seconds, depending on when they get the ball, but you still just want to get that shot, regroup your team. There's a lot of not so much being organized out there, and Brady's back, calls a timeout, smart timeout, tried to set something up. One of your quick, not so quick hitters on the out of bounds play.
When do you usually like to see the team go? You always talk about trying to hold the ball till the end, but you don't want to be maybe waiting under 4 to make your move. What time do you usually like to see the team go?
They got 17 on the clock right now, on the shot clock right now, so obviously you got to get it off. I'd like to see, if take a shot around, 8, 9 seconds. That way if the ball does come off, you have a chance for a putback. Gives you just a little bit extra, and I think they got Colton Nelson. There it is.
Right there, Jamal Veal, but just didn't quite get the alley-oop attempt as they read the ball. They read it pretty well. There's 10 seconds left, 9.
And smart play getting it back out.
Kyle Long getting double teamed up top, able to find Jamal Veal. Jumper from the free throw line. Ball comes off.
There it is. There it is.
It's important to have a little bit.
There it is. And a steal by Kyle Long. There it is. Oh, there we go. There is that movement. That is that momentum that we talked about. We just mentioned. Going into halftime with that. That is something that the Wolves can build upon. A lot of excitement here.
With those two quick baskets there at the end, the Wolves take a 39-38 lead into the half. And as you mentioned, some of that momentum. Hello fans, welcome back to the second half of the Wolves and Cal State East Bay game. Right now we're going to have Michael Filing take you through some of the stats in the first half.
We'll start first with Cal State East Bay here. Their leading scorer is Mark Samuels with 14. Jason Smith has 11 and Roshun Wynne has 7. They are shooting 51.9% from the field. They're shooting 46.2% from three-point range, and they have 14 total team rebounds and 6 turnovers. Going over to the Wolves, some of their key stats. Blair Whedon with 10, Kyle Long with 11, Jamal Veal with 7. The Wolves, as we talked about in the rebounding deficiency last year, have 15 rebounds, out-rebounding East Bay by 1. Both teams have 6 turnovers. The Wolves from three-point land are shooting 66%, scorching pace right now. From the floor, they're shooting 52%, right where they need to be at. From free throw line, the Cal State East Bay 4 for 4. For Western Oregon, not as good, 7 of 14. But as they finished off with, they have the lead up by 1, 39-38, with about a minute to go before the second half starts.
Well, what do you, as you mentioned right there, it really was a back and forth type of game. Obviously, it's going to be tough for the Wolves to shoot 66% from three-point range again, but what will be some of the keys for them in the second half here?
I think what the key is going to be is just continuing to move the ball, get good ball movement, not stand around, and when those three-point shots don't fall, it's going to be very important for the inside game, people to rebound, put the burden on Colton Nelson, Chris White, and Jamal Veal to get those extra shots, create those extra opportunities. Anytime you can create extra opportunities for yourself, you're going to help your team in the long run. So I think the rebounding is going to be key. And Cal State East Bay is going to come out, try to get their shots. They were just as good from the field as the Wolves were. They're going to try to get some. But again, Western Oregon has that size advantage. So I think at halftime you'd probably see Brady Bergeson make some adjustments. A little bit too much standing around probably for Coach Bergeson's liking. Maybe see some different sets. But the key is going to be in the second half, the rebounding game.
I also think a little bit right there, just trying to, whose guards can actually outmatch whose. You mentioned it's going to be a game of the guards. We got to see some very good skills out there by Roshun Wynne and Mark Samuels for the Pioneers. The Wolves with Kyle Long and Blair Whedon were both very good as well. Hopefully Jordan Freeland can pick up a couple points out there, and the Wolves can wear on them in the second half, as you mentioned, with their size, and just get the first home win of the season.
The other key that might kind of just, and it's not sneaking up, but for East Bay, they're at 11 fouls already, and they have, it's going to be interesting to see what they start to do if some of their bigger guys get into foul trouble. They're not a very big team as it is, so it's going to be who becomes and steps in to take that position.
And one other note right there, which you got to be a little bit negative every once in a while, Wolves got to knock down their free throws. Only 7 of 14 in the first half is not quite the numbers you want to see out there.
No.
Leaving really 7 points on the floor. You should easily be shooting 70% from the field, or from the free throw line, I mean. And here we go with the second half as Kyle Long inbounds it to Blair Whedon. Whedon taking over those point guard duties, it looks like. Wolves come back with a little different look here in the second half as they decide to start Colton Nelson instead of Jordan Freelander.
Yeah, Coach Gibson said when I talked to him earlier today, they said they were going to try to give some different looks.
Right there, Blair Whedon turned the ball over after missing James Gearing on the inside and just throwing a little bit late. However, the Wolves were able to force a tough shot out of Mark Samuels. Kyle Long played pretty well on the break, and pretty impressive right there, all things considered, that you're able to stop a 2-on-1 break. And after the turnover, Wolves come right back down the floor, and much as in the first half, the Pioneers pick up a quick foul right there as number 5, Roshun Wynne, picks up his first of the game against Blair Whedon, and the Wolves have the ball again, and they'll try to get back to that quick bonus as they were able to get to the free throw line. Even though they didn't knock enough down, they were able to get there a couple times and put some of the guys in a little bit of foul trouble.
Here you're seeing those little bit different sets that we were talking about. You're seeing Colton going down low just a little bit, staying down low. Normally he's popped up right there. Oh, he wanted it, and he hit it.
That was a pretty nice ball fake right there. Colton was able to get the defender to pause a little bit and knock down that 3, something he did very well last season, shooting 46% from three-point range, which you would not think for a guy that size that would be the shot his coaches would allow him to take, but he's really specialized in that one and really catches a lot of opponents off balance with that one.
Continuing the Wolves' scorching pace with shooting 3 points.
Very true. East Bay comes right back down the line. Jason Smith lines up for another one, misses it front rim.
Oh, you got to come down
Gearing
with those.
has it, but as you mentioned, it keeps it a little low, and Roshun Wynne is able to knock it away, find his guy underneath the hoop for an easy layup.
Wolves slow getting back. Got to always be paying attention to where the ball's at all times, and I think we're going to see a change here.
And I think that happened with Gearing, the ball getting knocked out. The Wolves already started to run down the floor as soon as they had it.
Got to know where the ball's at all times. And here again, these different sets, bringing the two big guys up, looking to create a shot for Blair Whedon. The Wolves fans and coach wanted foul, but refs letting them play a little bit, like we said.
Roshun Wynne lines up for a 3, knocks it down off the assist from Samuels. Not quite the start you wanted after half. You got to make sure the teams. They gave up. The Wolves have been outscored 5-3 at the early part of the second half, but right now it seems like the East Bay came out of that locker room with a little bit more momentum, both, and they're really aggressive on defense. Mentioning they've got the Wolves pushed up a lot higher out of the three-point line, and right there Jamal Beal picks up his dribble, unwisely right there at the corner of the key, and the ball goes as a turnover after a 3-second count.
And those kind of calls happen because there's not a lot of movement going around. If you're the Wolves players, the 4 others that are on the court, you can't just stand there. You got to come to the ball, help protect the ball, and get it back.
Right there. Samuels goes strong, but Blair Whedon makes sure to get a hand out, get a block. Very tough, especially to block a guy when you're one-on-one coverage with him. Whedon pushes the ball back up the floor and picks up another foul, something he's been very skilled at this game. The foul goes right there against Jarrell Turner.
As good as a scorer as Blair Whedon is, he's also underrated on defense. I mean, he was quick to get back, getting a shot, and the other team got a shot up. He was able to get a good defensive position on it and was able to block the shot.
Led the GNAC third in the GNAC last year in steals with over two a game. Wolves come right back down the floor. Interesting to see the matchup between Kyle Long and Jason Smith. Right there, Long almost loses it, able to get it out of there.
Colton Nelson at 3. He keeps hesitating.
Chris White goes up strong, however the ball gets blocked right there. Number 44, Jarrell Turner, gets the block. Tough call right there for Jarrell, as he already has 3 fouls. Picked up 2 early in the first half, already picked up 1 here early in the second half. It's going to be important.
Oh, good move. Oh, you got to finish those. You get those open. Oh.
we mentioned the word earlier, but frustration foul comes out right there.
Yep.
It doesn't go against Chris White. The foul actually goes against Colton Nelson, but nonetheless, just not a good foul, not something you want. His second of the game.
Yep, got to finish those shots, and just as quick as he came in, he's coming back out.
Yep. Wolves go back actually with their starting lineup as Jordan Freelander checks in right there for Chris White, and he'll be guarding the ball. He's a very good defender one-on-one. Man, that first step by the Pioneers guards is just too much for the Wolves. They don't seem to be able to stay with that first step.
And with that first step, it's going to be, we've touched upon it again in this broadcast, is how are the Wolves inside guys and the guys that are on the outside wings going to be able to come down and help out? You got to get down there with that first step. If you get beat, you got to rely on your teammates to come back and get you.
Ball goes turnover there, though, as they just lose it going for the shot. Whedon goes back on the floor, takes a strong. However, he is called right there for the offensive foul. As they say, it's a push-off. Pretty nice move with the layup. I didn't see too much of the arm extension or anything hold off.
No.
I thought he was just kind of protecting himself a little bit, but to no avail, as the official saw something completely different than you and I did.
And the jacket's coming off for Brady Bergeson. He's getting a little heated now.
Long three-point shot attempt right there by Wynne, falls off. Jamal Veal gets the ball, looking for a little help, it looked like. He doesn't want to bring the ball up to the floor, but kind of left to have to do it. Swings the ball around to Jordan Freelander, who
telegraphed that pass right there. You got to look him off just a little bit.
We go to immediate timeout, and we're going to see some pretty aggressive defense by the Pioneers here in the second half. What else do you have for us right now, Michael?
Well, no matter where you are in the world or what surfaces you're coating, Sherwin-Williams provides innovative solutions that ensure your success. Sherwin-Williams is a proud sponsor of WOU Athletics. And then live, work, or go to school in Benton, Lynn, Lincoln, Marion, or Polk County, then you can be a member of OSU Federal, your community credit union. Join online at osufederal.com or at one of the 12 branches in that 5-county area, including our Monmouth and Dallas branches. OSU Federal is a proud sponsor of the Western Oregon Athletics.
A couple more updates for a couple of all GNAC academic performers on the women's soccer team. They had 5 this season. Macy Boffman, Chelsea Okuma, and Kim Whitmer all earned it for the second straight season, while Danielle Hayward and Rebecca Hoyland both earned in their first year of eligibility. But to earn all GNAC conference honors, you have to have a 3.2 GPA and be in your second season with the team. You got a couple more stats there for us, Michael. What do you see?
Yeah, the Wolves' three-point percentage shot gone up to 70%. Meanwhile, the Cal State East Bay staying about where they were at half. For the game, they're shooting 43% for three-point line, and for the field goal, they're shooting 48%. So both teams, I think, we're starting to see the defense pick up a little bit. The Wolves have dropped from 52% in the first half now to 48%. So I think we're starting to see the defense wrap up just a little bit.
Right now, the Pioneers lead the game, 43-42, with 15:47 on the clock.
A lot of hand checking out there. A lot of hand checking.
And both teams do a lot of switching on the ball.
What a shot. What a shot. Hand in the face, still got it.
Blair Whedon went over 1,000 points last season. He's just the 42nd player in GNAC history to do that, and looks to be right back on pace as he looks to continue to climb up that list.
One of the more prolific scorers in the history of Western Oregon. Colton's got to get down there and help out just a little bit quicker. He's got to read that.
As Samuels comes in with another point there, with another 2 points there for the Pioneers, tying the game back up at 45. Jamal Veal takes the shot.
Good rebound. Smart decision.
And Wolves guards it's going to be very important for them to rebound this game, as nobody's really that much taller than them on the floor. Even the biggest guy out there for the Pioneers is not that much bigger than Blair Whedon or Veal. That's a tough call right there.
Yeah, we talked about that circle at the beginning of the game. Again, it's one of those judgment calls, you never know.
One of those Duke-like calls where they slide into you and you're off in the air. It's tough to be able to, I've always felt that you need to have some spot to come down at, and it seems like they've gone away from that one, thinking it's player control foul or something like that. But
each rep is different on how they call it, what they see, what they believe in, so.
Nice alley-oop there, but it's going to be nullified as there is a foul on the backside with a hold, which allowed Marshall to get the alley-oop. The foul goes against Jason Smith, who, as the official said right there, held the Wolves.
There's a reason he was that open, and I think he held him.
So the game is still tied, 45-45, 14:40 on the clock. As Whedon asked for the ball to bring it up, gets the screen right there from Gearing, goes strong to the hoop. Nice bounce pass, no. At first it looked a little bit better than it was, but the goes pass gets intercepted. Wynne is all over the place, goes for the layup.
So quick, so quick.
Falls off the rim, but he's able